My name is Yolanda White, and I'm a professional school counselor in a high school setting, and I want to talk about depression. As a professional school counselor, we adhere to the American School Counselors Association ASCA model, and one of the ways that we reach our students is in the personal social area. So I witness a lot of students that come and disclose that they may be feeling symptoms of depression, and though I'm a professional school counselor, I would not be able to diagnose them. Generally, we want students to know that we are there to support them, and so I would reach out to the family and let them know of the concerns of the student and then refer them out to outside counseling. I've said to my faculty recently that I hope that one day the stigma of depression will change as it relates to other mental health issues, that we will be able to say it and empower, just like we say someone has diabetes or asthma, and there's not that stigma and shame. So I'm always wanting to support students that come and talk about different issues that they have, maybe related to depression. A lot of what I see is students are dealing with anxiety, they're dealing with peer pressure, they're dealing with the desire to want to excel, especially in a high school setting where they're thinking about college aspirations and future goals, and that may be sometimes overwhelming for them. So giving them a voice and a place to be in a safe space to allow them to work through coping mechanisms that they may learn or they may need to be taught to help them in dealing with those things, so that they know that they are empowered and that the depression is not a period, but is a comma for them to move forward, to pause, and to reset. And I hope that students like Destiny will continue to change the world by her saying her truth.
Hi, I'm Tanika Dew Evans, and I'm here today to talk to you about depression. And depression as it impacts the individual who's been diagnosed as well as the family. Over 16 million Americans will experience one major depressive episode this year. That's roughly about 7% of our population. And that may seem like a large number to some and a smaller number to others. But the truth of the matter is that at some point we will all experience a sad moment or a moment that causes us to pause. The difference, however, in a diagnosis of depression is that this is a series of episodes that last 2 weeks or more, and they impact the individual in terms of their everyday living. And a result of depression, or the depression diagnosis, can be caused from various things. As a result of trauma, medical conditions can cause someone to have a depressive episode. It could be biological, genetically. You could be predisposed to also have a depressive episode. But with depression, what we're really finding in our world is that there's a stigma associated with it that is resulting in our families and the individuals with the diagnosis being afraid to come forward, to seek help, to have a better understanding of what's going on with them. And so I'm here today to talk to you about those things, to let you know that there's treatment, and that treatment can include counseling. And the importance of the counseling is identifying the right counselor for you, being your advocate. Medication may also be the case, and that's if it's affecting you physiologically, because medication is not always the treatment for everyone. And the most important thing is that your treatment is unique to you, that it is not a one-size-fits-all with treatment, that it is important that you become your own advocate and you speak about what is happening with you and your experience. Depression shows up, and most persons are afraid to deal with it. We have parents who don't know what to ask their children, and they don't know what to ask them because they're wondering, is it any fault of their own that their child is now experiencing this? And the child is unafraid because they just can't describe it. Depression showing up in adolescence is similar to the same things that adolescents feel as a result of puberty. There's irritability, there's frustration, there's an escape that you're trying to do, you're withdrawing, you're trying to find and identify yourself. And as a result of that, they're unsure of what's going on. So what I believe that is most important for every parent that is dealing with this is to talk. Communication is key for every relationship, and we have to honor the relationships that we have as parents, as family, as friends, and we ask questions and we show up, we're present. And so in depression, and when a diagnosis has been made, then you ask, how can I help you? What do you need? And if they're unable to clearly state what it is that they need, that you're just there. Talk to someone. seeking a professional like myself or someone in your schools, someone in your church, just friends, and you will be amazed that people will show up and be present and help you along the way. The best thing for you to do if you're living with someone who is dealing with a depressive diagnosis or disorder is to, as I stated before, be present, but then also to have an understanding of what the diagnosis is. To have a clear understanding and pick your language, be respectful, be mindful of the individual. What we constantly hear in this working in the profession is that someone is diagnosed as being bipolar, as being schizophrenic, and they are not the disorder. They have the disorder, they are living with the disorder, but they are not that. And once we allow that to be removed from them, then it helps them in living with it. It helps them in moving. And you can thrive with a depressive diagnosis. It is not an end. It is actually the beginning, because some people may find that they're vulnerable in that state, but there's power in the vulnerability. If you call out what the issue is, then it allows you to meet it head on, and it removes the shame and the stigma that's associated with it. But it is important first to know who you are, so when these symptoms come up, when you're irritable, when you're sad, when you're sleeping or not, when you're sleeping too much or not enough, when there's changes in your diet, any of these things that are persistent and they're showing over a 2-week period of time, I suggest that you speak with someone. Ask the question, ask someone, do I seem okay, if you don't know how to say that you're not. And know that it's okay not to be okay, but it is most important that you ask for the help so that you can receive it.
Hi, I'm Destiny, and I want to tell my story of depression. I've had depression for a while now, and I still do. At first, I didn't know what was going on with me because I had so many different changes going on emotionally and physically. At times, I just wanted to isolate myself. I would get angry at the most simplest things, from people talking to people being around me. And sometimes, even when I had all my family around me and everything, I felt like nobody wanted to deal with me. But it got more and more severe, so my mom sought help, and we searched to find the right therapist. And then when I finally got there, they helped me, and I learned my coping skills, and I started doing things that I love to do, because I really wouldn't want to do anything. I just wanted to be alone in my room and isolate myself. I didn't want to let the sun in or anything. I just kept surrounding myself with things that didn't make it any better. And I felt like that I was out there alone. No one knew what the pain was like. But after I started taking my meds and being more proactive, I learned that depression won't control me because I'm stronger than it is. And I didn't know what to do until I realized that there's so many people, even people who I don't even know, who care about me and always wanted to look at me and just see if I was doing okay. I still have depression now, but it's not as severe as it was when I was in 8th grade, because I went to self-harming and stuff. But after I kept taking my meds and using my coping skills, everything got better, and I looked on the brighter side. And here I am today, and I just wanted to let you guys know that this is my story, and I thought that if I share it, that you guys may feel more comfortable sharing yours. And this is me now, and I'm happy.